In Venezuela, the debate on how length to remain, or wherever to run and how to start a new lifetime, is never far of lot human beings' minds. Each period I trip the nation, down there are less friends and contacts to capture up in the extensive most of Venezuelans' journey to some components of Southward America. More than rather than a millionth Venezuelans include selected neighboring Colombia as their new household, in part a millionth more than traveling via it on their way future southward to Ecuador, Peru and the countries for the happy ones, such in protection, household members already set and in formation, include found job in some components. But I've as well met lot of ex-professionals marketing water supply or meal on the gateway of Peru and Colombia to do ends encounter. We are speaking on human beings who are outgoing not since of a nature calamity, not since of a warfare, says Claudia Vargas Ribas, a migrating specialist at the Shemin Bolivar College in Caracas. The new year is wide anticipated to pile blood pressure on the Venezuelan by the government. On January 10, Nicolas Maduro will be officially sworn in for the 6 year following creature proclaimed the victor in elections recent May. These elections were substantially boycotted by the opposition and were wide convicted by the US, the EU and largest of Venezuela's neighbors. CEO Maduro blames imperialists, the likes of the US and Europe, for waging economical warfare versus Venezuela and formidable sanctions regime on lot members of his by the government. But his critics say it is economical poor management, at first by his forerunner Hugo Chavez and now CEO Maduro oneself, how has driven Venezuela to its knees. We are departure to include crucial days and weeks start in January, says David Smolanksy, an exiled opposition lead and now the chief of the work team on Venezuelan migrating for the organization of a state. The management of the opposition-controlled domestic gathering changes in previous January and several trust that could be the reason of future stress. Maduro is departure to wish to draft a Shah of force, says Jeff Ramsey, the aide CEO of the Venezuela program at the Washington office space on Roman America, WALA. I believe Howe's departure to build a new standard of discontent and the few how Dong T include and flee schedule will be activating them following Maduro formally conducted his new period. Venezuela's meltdown will go on to influence all of Southward America. These countries in the area are evolving countries, we can't overlook how, says Claudia Vargas Ribas. So reception the number of human beings has done their domestic sphere more than complex. Down there include been efforts to company ordinate the human answer. Down there include been 2 meetings in Ecuador's Equity Quito and a acceptance how country's requirement to job along to resolve the meltdown. A tertiary is planned for the at first part of 2019. If you comparison which Roman America has made in which Europe has made in its migrants, Europe that has superior facility and is more than economically advanced, the sample how Roman America is show is huge, says social scientist Tomas Pease, who company ordinates the world draft of the Venezuelan diasporas. But in more than Venezuelans inbound, could countries drag their migration rules? If they put brakes on it, which will increase is roughness, says Mr. Pease, addition how narcotic trafficking, prostitute and illicit industries will increase. Several expert trust which's been pledged so far is a fall in the ladle compared to which is necessary. Provincial governments are really concerned in receive financing of the US and some donors, says Jeff Ramsey. Yet they are lot more than docile while it comes to provided medium and length-term solutions to the meltdown. Over the monthly, 95 organizations, company ordinated by the UN Asylum Seeker Agent, the UNHCR, and the World Organization for Migrating, start up the as-called Provincial Answer Schedule for Refugees and Migrants of Venezuela. The concept is to assist answer to as necessary of such Venezuelans who are migratory as so as urge on the world society to assist foundation aid efforts. Jeff Ramsey says it is a large begin but promises on document are not quite. A significant decision to Venezuela's movement meltdown will need Roman America to incorporate these communities in their official economies and job markets. The area doesn't fair requirement to answer to the meltdown, it as necessary to hold up the blood pressure versus Mr. Maduro too much, says David Smolanksy. The requirement the powerful arm and the amiable brush, he says. This area as necessary to be company versus the dictator, as length as it continues, human beings are departure to run.